Hello everybody and welcome back to our look at M. Night Shyamalan's films, and now we're going to touch up a little bit on the last couple of Shyamalan's films, The Happening and The Last Airbender. So Brendan, your thoughts on The Happening?
The Happening, when it came out, I heard it was just an awful film. I heard it was Mark Wahlberg, just gave one of the worst performances ever. That the plot was stupid, that there was a really dumb twist in it, although I didn't really find there to be a twist. I just heard all these awful things about it, and I just kind of, just put in my mind, alright, I won't see that movie then. And, it came down the line, I eventually, found it on TV, and I was watching it, and it really brought me in, because I watched it right from the beginning, and, the movie really grabs you from that opening scene in the park, with just everyone committing mass suicide, essentially. It's very, I think it's his most disturbing movie. It's his first R-rated movie he did, and, it's not like it's a gore fest or anything, but the violence in it it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, particularly this story, it had echoes of, like, Night of the Living Dead in it, and, like, Invasion of Body Snatchers. It felt like it had these sort of science fiction overtones, and you didn't quite know what was going on.
Yeah.
But, luckily Mark Wahlberg's character, kind of figures some things out and, explains it.
I disagree about people's things. Mark Wahlberg's performance. I actually thought this was one of his better performances that I've seen him give in his career. I did like this movie a little bit more than Lady in the Water, but it sounds like you liked it more than I did. Sometimes I thought Zooey Deschanel as Wahlberg's wife, the performance was a little bit off at first, and she sounded bored, and it sounded like she was just reading the lines right before it was shot. But I think she got better as the film progressed. But I think the best acting performance came from John Leguizamo, who's Mark Wahlberg's friend, and they both teach at the same school. That was, I thought, probably the best performance out of the whole film.
I thought, he had some good stuff, but I kind of felt like he was underused. I was expecting more from his character and, sort of his departure in the movie. I could say I almost giggled at when it first happened, because some of the violence is almost goofy when it first happens. Yeah. It's like when the guy lies down on, like, the big lawnmower, and it's kind of funny. It's like, really? But, in a way, it sort of gave it that sort of sleazy 70s vibe that I really enjoyed. And the end of the movie kind of left it open, for, like, more catastrophes are going to happen, but I don't think anyone wants to see another Happening movie.
Yeah, I mean, this movie at first I didn't find the film as engaging as his earlier films. I thought it was better than Lady in the Water and The Village, but I think halfway through the film I started getting chills about the different theories of what is causing people to do this to themselves. Then I started getting chills about, could this actually happen in real life? What would happen? That's when I started...
I like the explanation behind this one, It wasn't like a military thing, it wasn't like aliens or something. Yeah. Or, something like that. It was very unique.
Yeah, and there were some relatable instances, like Mark Wahlberg is somehow turned into the leader, like you would expect from a Twilight Zone episode, and everyone's like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And he's like, I don't know what to do. Why are you asking me? Everybody is turning to him for an answer to this.
Because his character, in every situation, tries to break it down, tries to break down what's happening and why is it happening.
Yeah.
And, like you said, he does... there's, again, good performances by child actors he brings up, and sort of the family unit again, and, the husband and wife relationship, which becomes more important as the movie goes along. But I agree with you. Zooey Deschanel, seems like she's sleeping through most of this flick. It's kind of like they just woke her up from her trailer and like, all right, yeah, shoot.
Well, the last 15 minutes, I thought she really put in an effort. It was really good. I think the last 15 minutes was probably the best performance she gave out of the movie, because I don't want to give it away, but there's a big tension, and something sad and moody's going on here. But that was probably my favorite part of the movie, was this scene before the ending. Actually, the last scene of the movie, I felt a little bit disappointed with. And but I think another standout scene for me is when Wahlberg and his wife and some people that are with him are looking for food, and they come to this house, and the people are being cold-blooded, and they won't give them anything.
Yes.
That was a really good scene.
Yeah.
Okay, now for The Last Airbender. As you guys know, I already reviewed Last of Airbender, and you did not see Last of Airbender, and you're not going to see it.
I heard awful things. I don't plan on it.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay movie. I mean, I read some bad reviews from not just film critics, but from everyone who went to see it, and I can understand where they're coming from, but I didn't think it was a bad movie. I thought it was a renter. You don't have to go to the theater. It's not a... And I didn't see it in 3D, but I can imagine it won't make much of a difference, But The Last Airbender, I thought, was an okay movie. I think it's a renter, but Shyamalan is not an action director, and they left the movie open for a sequel, so if they make some more films, they better get a screenwriter and a director that can do action films, because Shyamalan cannot do action films, in my opinion.
He's more about, you know, the sort of the human drama, you know,
Yeah.
in sort of extreme situations.
Yeah, and this film kind of felt choppy to me, because it felt like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I felt like it was a 3-hour movie originally, and the studio's like, no, this is way too long, cut it out, and it felt so choppy. The scenes were so short, and some character development felt like it just happened like that. I'm like, whoa, what? Where'd that come from? Out of left field? It felt like it came out of left field. So, I'd say his early films, Wide Awake and Sixth Sense, are his best films, his early films. But I think as the films progress, the weaker they're kind of getting. You know, it's like I don't know what happened. You know, I don't know if he was focusing too much on the mood and less on the story or what. So
I think he was just trying to be different with each movie, and you know, it just you know, maybe he tried to be too different with certain films like Lady in the Water or The Village and such, and you know, he kind of got tacked on for being, you know, sort of a twist ending kind of guy.
yeah, I mean, like Lady in the Water and Signs, he's doing something different, but it just didn't quite work. So I don't know. I think he can, if he puts in an effort again, he can probably go back to how he was. But these last few films were just too much of a disappointment. So okay, everybody, that's our videos on M. Night Shyamalan. So go ahead and leave your comments about the Happening, The Last Airbender, and go ahead and comments about the videos in general. So thank you very much for watching, and take care.